Hey everybody, it's Jason and welcome back to my channel. This is part 3 in my series of videos going over this basket case 1987 Honda XL600r. The last 2 videos have concentrated on going through the engine and finding out what needs to be ordered for that. And today we are going to start stripping this frame down and doing the same thing, looking for gaskets and little parts and pieces that may not be here, and going through the boxes of stuff that I have downstairs to fill in the gaps. I really hope you enjoy it. If you like this series, I would ask you to please subscribe. It really helps. We might as well start with the easy stuff and work our way kind of in and down. So that's going to be the seat and then the gas tank. This seat looks like it's in pretty good shape. I'm not completely convinced it's original, though. I'm not sure either. There's no XL on it like my other bike has, which I'm pretty sure is the way they came. Now either it wore off or it's been recovered. I wonder if we can put that back on somehow, because I really like the look of it. There were a lot of reasons involved with me buying this bike. Number one is it was so complete. Number two is I have so many parts, and I kind of like this color scheme. It's just different, right? So one of the problems, though, actually, which was one of the selling features, is that this tank is a little bit beat up. It's definitely had its day. I mean, it still holds gas and everything, but it's got a bunch of marks on it, which is kind of typical. The good news is I picked up a essentially brand new tank with my very first bike in the same coloring, in the same livery, and it's in great shape. I mean, there's a couple of little marks in the paint, but overall it's a beauty. So it's funny the things that make you buy a bike, because I just knew I had so many parts. So one thing I didn't notice until just right now actually is that there are 2 different looks to these tanks. I don't know the differences that well, so I'm gonna guess, since this was the original tank on the bike, that it's probably correct and it's an 87, and this other one must be an 86. I don't know. These side covers are they're a little bit rough. But, might have to look into some aftermarket plastic. I find most plastic of this age is getting pretty rough. This one's not bad. Well, it's not great. We'll see. Sometimes you can get aftermarket stuff very economically. Unfortunately, being in Canada, I pay through the nose for shipping, but that's just part of it, I guess. This is my first look under the seat, so I'm kind of curious. This can tell you a lot about a bike, how it's been treated, if it's been butchered or not. Everything in here looks stock, though. You know, it doesn't look like there's no cut wires. These are all original parts. It's even got that snorkel, which seems to be missing on some bikes, not all. I'm going to take off the rear fender now, so we have to disconnect the lights, which are these ones here. Something else I like about this bike is it comes with a license plate bracket. It seems like every other bike I've had has had this broken off, so this is kind of nice. My intention with this bike is probably to put it back on the road. I'm not just too sure yet. I've got probably far too many bikes, to be honest with you. But I do kind of have a soft spot for these XL600s, so I might get rid of one of my other bikes and keep this one. I'm just not sure yet. Okay, before I can get into that, I guess I have to take off the exhaust. Yet another great selling point to this bike. It's got the Super Trap exhaust, which is a pretty big dollar upgrade. I did pay a little bit more for this bike than I would have liked, but this kind of stuff really adds up, you know. I'm pretty sure that a Super Trap exhaust is well in excess of sort of $400 or $500 US. Stainless steel, lasts forever. Great sound too. So, you know, that kind of stuff is worth something. And as you've seen, you know, I've pretty much had every other part for this bike. So, you know, it hasn't cost me much to get to this point, and I don't think it's going to cost me much to fix this bike up at all. on the foot brake for the back, there are these little seals in and around this pivot pin. Now, I've replaced these before on other bikes, and I'm not completely sure it's all that necessary, you know, as long as they're there. The other issue is they're ridiculously expensive. It seems to me these were like $11 each or some crazy thing last time I ordered them. I think I could probably replace them with O-rings, to be honest with you. Lovely, huh? Yeah, lovely. More good news. I was able to find all of the engine hardware, engine mounting hardware. I didn't see some of it at first, but I kind of dug through and I found what I needed. It's a little bit rusty, a little bit beat up, but it'll clean up, I'm sure. Got that front fender off. There's supposed to be a bracket that runs between here and here. It just holds this plastic kind of in place. One of my other bikes didn't have it, and I didn't have a spare, so I never put it in, and it seems to be just fine. Still, I'll see if I can't. I'll look around on eBay and at my part suppliers and see if I can't come up with one. If not, it's not critical, and maybe I could even make something. All right, what's going on here? Got a wire that's been spliced. Got wires that are just kind of hanging out. Not sure what those are exactly. We'll figure it out. Front lights look to be in good shape. Rear lights on these bikes are always broken. I guess that's just the nature of having a, enduro, off-road, on-road. You drop them, and the first thing that breaks is the rear lights. I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen really low mile bikes that have them still, but not one that's been used in the real world. They just seem to break off right away. Sometimes with a grip, you can get a little bit of silicone lube in there. Rubber and silicone lube. There's a special kind of connection between them. Rubber just turns into the most slippery substance known to mankind. See that? See what I mean? Right where it is. So it's just you just gotta kind of work it in. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? It comes off. So I am using a JIS standard screwdriver, not a Phillips. These are readily available. I got it on Amazon. It seems to be good enough quality, but it fits these Japanese screws perfectly. Clutch lever and choke. Decompression lever. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the front brake line system on these bikes. There's 3 or 4 different parts. I mean, it sneaks through really, really efficiently. At this point, the bike's, over 35, pushing 40 years old. And, I don't really trust these rubber lines anymore. It is the front brake after all. So I generally replace it with a single piece stainless steel, just run it through. You can do what you want, but it just seems to me that it's a little bit complicated and it doesn't need to be. This thing just keeps going and going. push-pull. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff hooked up to this instrument cluster. And if you've never done this before, you're watching this, you're probably going, how is he gonna figure all of this stuff out to put it back together again? And the truth of the matter is, the engineers have designed it so that each of the plugs is different and it will only plug into its mating plug. You cannot screw this up. You know, the only thing that's a little bit difficult is the routing. But I've got the manual, and there are excellent diagrams describing exactly how all this stuff kind of goes back together. Got the key, which is always nice. Yep. Cool. So we got some damage here, right? Let's take a look at some of the more interesting things I found as I tore this thing apart. I'm reasonably certain these are not available anymore, but you know what? I've used original ones and I've never had a problem. The biggest issue is the seals, and I've got tricks to make that work. So, you know, it's a little bit corroded. The oil line itself is fine. You know, why wouldn't it be? So I'd say that's okay. Got the little keeper that goes on the engine to hold it in place. This is the strainer that goes into the bottom of the frame. The oil line connects to that. I don't see anything in there at all. Looks nice and clean, so that's good. Little seal there, but that'll come in the kit. This is the front brake. Looks like it's got a little rash on it there. Good news is that it's not leaking at all. There's actually still fluid in there, which is nice. And the front brake was working when I took it off. Like I was saying earlier, these lines manufactured in 1086, so that makes them 38 years old. Although they are in really good shape, I'm kind of tempted to reuse them. I might talk to somebody about that. But let's see what they cost. Okay, so these lines were made in 1086, so they are 38 years old. They are in great shape, I have to say. I'm kind of tempted to reuse them. What I'm going to do is, my brother's a mechanic, he's a Class A, so I'm going to ask him his opinion on this, and I'm going to get a price on replacing these. They're fairly specialized, so I'm thinking they might be a little bit on the pricey side. But you never know. You never know. Honda surprises me sometimes with their pricing, both ways. We'll give it a shot. We'll see. You know, the metal lines are fine. You know, on a bike, generally, there's not much of an issue there. They don't corrode all that much. You know, you don't ride them in the salt, right? They're in good shape. While we're on the subject of the front brake, the caliper looks really good. I'll buy a new pad. The pads actually look pretty good. Yeah. I don't know if I'll reuse those or not. We'll see. I'll take this all apart, clean it up, probably repaint it. But it doesn't look bad. It even still has the little rubber cap on the bleeding screw. That's kind of cool. The oil itself's gross, but that's to be expected. There's the rear foot pegs. They're in great shape, just need a clean up. A little bit of play, but you know, whatever. Up and down, they seem to work fine. Oops. That one doesn't. That one's been sheared. Look at that. Something's gone on here. Yeah, something's gone on here, and there's an alternate system of mounting. I'll have to. Well, it works. It works. I'll take it apart and take a look and see if I can either bring it back or if that's good enough. But the rubber's good. That's the most important thing. I think I might have a spare set of these, to be honest with you. Not sure 100% though. Okay, this is the battery support. These usually rust out pretty bad. I think the acid fumes leak. So this actually holds the little hose from the overflow in the battery, and you can see how it's corroded around it. I think it's just the fumes, you know, from the battery acid that get to it, because the rest of it is fine, right? So I'll have to, you know, take that apart and clean it up. It's in good shape otherwise. It's held its form, you know, hasn't deteriorated too much. I've seen these things rot right out. Yeah, that's reusable. This is the spring that goes from the rear brake pedal up to the switch. Okay, so it pulls the switch, which triggers the brake light. It's pretty badly twisted up. I'll try to give it a clean up. It's very visible, like you can clearly see it when you look at the bike, and it is a little bit rusty. I'll get a price and availability on this, and if it looks like it's going to be a hassle or not worth it, then I'll try to fix this one. But if it's a $4 part, then I'll get another one. But yeah, it's had a life, huh? So this is that grommet that the seat sits on. It was ripped, or partially ripped, and then I completely ripped when I took it out. See if I can get another one of those. If not, like, that's usable for what it does. But if it's only a cheap little part, I'll try to get another one. These are all the rubber grommets that the body panels fit into on the side. They're all in great shape, which is, you know, nice, although they're relatively inexpensive. They're usually either missing or ripped up. These are all in nice and flexible still, and good shape, so I don't have to worry about those. Oh, the gas tank rubbers, they're okay. Well, you know, all the little bits and pieces in this bike are actually pretty nice. They're in pretty good shape. This is the rubber bracket. This is the rubber bracket that holds the emissions canister. And it's definitely going to need to be replaced. But as luck would have it, I have another complete system, and it's got that bracket on it. You know, that's good, because I'll bet you that thing is probably next to impossible to get, and it's probably ripped on a lot of these bikes, because a lot of them just tear this stuff off and forget all about it. I'm going to put it back on because I like the look of a complete bike, to be honest with you. This is from another bike. I thought this bike came with one, but I'm wrong. It didn't. This is the one I was thinking of, and it came off of, well, it came in a box of parts actually from another set that I had years ago. All the rubber's in great shape. You know, the original clips. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, the cover of the air cleaner is pretty mangled. You know, that's been ripped up. Look at that thing there. It's all warped and it's in pretty rough shape. The bottom is broken right off. That's not very nice. So, as with everything else, I've got a spare. Now, it's not great itself, but it's better, that's for sure. The only issue being this hole here has been augered out, and there was duct tape on there for some reason. Bottom hole's in good shape. Definitely nice and flat, and so that's good. It'll seal properly, which is, you know, really the most important part of it. I'll clean that up and put it in the cleaner. See if I can get all this stuff off, heat it up. Maybe I can turn something on the lathe that'll fit on that and just hide it up a little bit nicer, or even just a washer, honestly. Yeah, this one's definitely better than that other one, so that's good. This is the instrument cluster. Is that 80s or what? It has some damage, no doubt about that. You know, it's kind of hidden behind the windscreen, or behind the little the front little fairing that comes with this, so you could probably get away with repairing that and, you know, probably never notice. The issue, of course, is water. You know, it's got to be sealed. So I'll take a closer look at that. I've never actually taken one of these things apart to take a look on the inside. So, you know, that could be an adventure. 36,000 kilometers, next to nothing. It's a baby. The other option I have is I've got this, which is off that 83, I think. Pretty sure it's 83. And it's in much better shape, and it kind of looks nicer in there. Now, it wouldn't match the bike precisely, like it wouldn't be correct for the year, but I'm not really sure I care too much about that. I could take a look and see if I could swap the insides. You know, that's an option. Once again, I've never been in here, so I don't know how complicated these things are. But I'm going to be completely honest with you, though. That face looks pretty crappy. Like, it's faded and, you know, doesn't look the best. So I can see if I can get a new sticker maybe that goes on that to keep it looking original, or I could just swap it over to this. I think I'm okay with the odometer change. I might have to fill out a paper or something on that. I'll have to take a look, but it certainly can be done. It's not going to stop me. You know, that's in much better shape. So I've got options. So kind of on the same note as the speedometer. This is, so that's your turn signals, high beam, low beam, horn. You know, that's looking kind of rough. Yeah, definitely looking kind of rough. I do, again, have one off of the 83, which is a different style, but, you know, it's definitely, that's a little gummy, but we can take it apart and clean it up. You know, it's in better shape for sure. Oh, I've saved the best to last, I hope. I've got one of these cases downstairs, but it is beat to death. And it was empty when I got it. When I took this off, it's got stuff in it. And I have never seen a complete set of tools. And maybe I still won't, but let's take a look. Look at that, it's like a time capsule. Oh God. Yeah, this might be, yeah, you never know. You never know, this might be all right. I have no idea what that's for, but I'll figure it all out, look it up. Yes, look at that. Kit. This might not even be a kit, this might be somebody's kit. But I think that right there, whatever that symbol is, it's common amongst all these tools. No, it's not. Is it? Yeah, it is. HM Honda motor, right? Yeah, sure enough, HM 17. This could be a complete set. That is. Now we're gonna have to do a little bit of research. But anyway, I thought it was damn cool. Yeah, look at that. Gem. These can't be Honda, though, can they? If they are, they ain't good. But if they are, they'd be the JIS, right? They'd be proper. Yeah. I'm gonna take a look and see what originally came with the bike and if this matches. Anyway, very cool. Very cool that this is in good shape to begin with. And very cool that there's, I think, original stuff in it. The rest of the bike looks pretty good. You know, there's no broken welds or anything like that. There's scuffs all over the place, obviously, but that's part of the life of an enduro motorcycle. Definitely some rust popping through. You know, the wisdom of a white frame. I kind of wonder about that sometimes, but it's going to have an easy life with me at least. So I'll clean up some of these little rust spots. If I have to take it down and blast it, I'll blast it. I'll try to find a close enough white and I'll just repaint it. But I got to get all this grease off, so I've started my my Dawn treatment, and it's supposed to be like 7 degrees by Wednesday, so 4 or 5 days from now it's supposed to be up, you know, well above freezing, and I can take my pressure washer out and give this thing a really nice clean, because it's kind of hard to get into some of these sharp little corners, and it does a nice job. And then yeah, we'll move on from there. Once I get the frame painted, we can start putting stuff back on. These boots are pretty good too, eh? They're really quite flexible still. Whoops, they're not cracked anywhere. That's going to be it for this video. I've got a fair bit done today. It will probably be a couple of weeks before I'm able to get another one out. There's an awful lot of cleaning to do here. And I've got another little project actually for a friend that's got to get done kind of before I can progress. But I'll start getting into this engine a little bit more and getting it ready to paint and all that kind of thing. The ultrasonic cleaner is going to take quite a workout too for the next little while. And I've got to order some stuff, and my gaskets are still not in. So it's going to take a bit, but just subscribe and you'll get a notice, okay? Thank you very much for watching. Take care.